Today's episode is going to ruffle some feathers. We've been hearing from the White House that women need to have more babies for the sake of the country, for the sake of the economy. But here's my question for today's episode. They want our wombs, but will they protect our wellness? Will we live through it? Let's talk about the real cost of motherhood in America and why postpartum care must become a national priority. You know what's wild? We prepare for 9 months to bring this baby into this world. We get multiple checkups, blood work, scans, we're taking childbirth education classes. But what happens after the baby arrives? You get one visit at 6 weeks, and that is it. 6 weeks. When you've just had major surgery or you've had trauma to your body, when your hormones are plummeting, when you're bleeding, crying, maybe breastfeeding, you're anxious, you're scared. And somehow we've decided that as a country, one visit is enough. Now, if you haven't listened to my prior episodes, I do like to talk about the medicalization of birth and how this 6 week visit is not any magical number. It's not some place in your recovery that, oh, now I have arrived. It is a completely arbitrary number that was introduced by insurance companies. This is the last billable appointment in your pregnancy postpartum package. So it has nothing to do with your healing. It's not a milestone. It's just a simple billing decision driven by bundled care insurance reimbursements. Because of this, women suffer every single day. Let me tell you about one of my first patients who I cared for through EM Care to You. It was a holiday weekend. She had just had a baby a few days ago, and she kept calling her clinic and she kept insisting that something does not seem right. So they got her in. She went into her appointment, and when she was there, they told her that she was dehydrated, she was tired, she needed to sleep more and drink more water. During that time, her blood pressure was elevated, and they told her, drink more water, hydrate, don't stress, get some sleep. Now, she didn't really like how this sounded, and so she went on a Facebook group where she sounded the alarm, and somebody pointed her in my direction. And as soon as I got on the phone with her and she's telling me her face is swollen, her legs are swollen, I had to stop her right there. And I said, I'm coming over. And when we went over there, her blood pressures were through the roof. And I ended up sending her to the hospital where she was diagnosed with postpartum preeclampsia. And postpartum preeclampsia put her at risk for a stroke. I helped her adjust her meds throughout that weekend because her doctors were not available. It was a holiday weekend, and so there was no one there for her. They sent her home on medications, and she had to manage the pain and the medications by herself. And so this is where I stepped in, and I closely followed her after discharge. If she had waited until 6 weeks to sound the alarm, if she had listened to the clinic who said that she needs to get more sleep or drink more water, can you imagine what could have happened? I visited a mom who had abdominal pain, and I thought I was going to be there for 20 minutes. I stayed over an hour. Why? She just started breaking down crying. It was more than the pain that she was experiencing. It was postpartum depression. She was struggling with breastfeeding, and she felt completely alone. She felt like she had nobody to turn to. And honestly, it just took me back to my own experiences in motherhood and everything that I had gone through. And so I do this because I have been there and I've seen countless women fall through the cracks because they're not being seen sooner than 6 weeks. This is not rare. This is happening every day to moms across this country. So, what is the real cost of motherhood? Let's talk. In the United States, maternal mortality is higher than in any other developed country. And if you're a Black woman, you're 3 to 4 times more likely to die after childbirth. We don't talk about what happens after a woman gives birth. Most of these deaths are occurring after a woman gives birth. It's not necessarily when she is pregnant. but it's after the baby comes. But here we are. We don't talk enough about postpartum depression. We don't talk enough about postpartum cardiomyopathy or heart failure. We don't talk about pelvic pain, incontinence, breastfeeding trauma, birth trauma, marital strain, career disruptions, identity loss. Motherhood is beautiful, or it can be beautiful, but for a lot of women, it's brutal, especially when done in isolation without the right care. But here we are in the latest press release. We want women to have more children. Can we fix the crisis in our country first? Can we fix the maternal mortality rates in our country first? Let's start there. Let's start there. Yeah, naturally, I was reading this and I thought it was a little ridiculous. We're doing things backwards. And that's just goes with the reactive way that we do things in America. We do, and then we deal with the consequences later. We already know women are dying more than ever, and telling women to have more children without fixing the crisis is extremely detrimental. And this is why I'm here. This is why I use my voice. This is why I use my platform. This is why EM Care to You was founded. I see my moms within that first week after delivery. I offer unlimited telemedicine so that they can access me from literally their couch, from their bed. I bring in lactation consultants, pelvic floor therapists, doulas, mental health support. I screen for things early. I advocate for my moms. I make sure that they are seen and not just their baby, because your health matters. Your healing matters. Your life matters. And I don't think that any woman should have to suffer in silence. I don't think that women have to guess and think, what's normal? Is this normal? And I don't think that women have to pretend to be strong, that they can get through this by themselves. And so, as the White House is signaling for women to have more children, I'm really building something bigger. And I really wish that we could do for moms the way that my practice does for moms. I want us to be able to get help to every mom, whether it's virtual care, whether it's in-home visits. Moms need thorough assessments. They need thorough support. And I wish I had this when I was postpartum. I truly think that we could build a new model of care in this country, and we could change how care is delivered. And so, as we are discussing more children, we need to be discussing more recovery. Let's keep advocating for better postpartum care. Let's keep advocating for better maternity leave policies that may make having children conducive in this country. Okay? And that is all today. I want you to go ahead and send this episode to a mom who needs to hear it. Follow me on Instagram at Dr. Choa. And if you need more support through your postpartum journey, give me a call. Stay safe, stay supported, and remember, you're not alone.